Ever think about just how smooth a train ride is? I mean,
Mm.
those things are heavy, but they glide along the tracks. It's kind of crazy when you think about the level of precision required for all that to work, especially the maintenance involved.
Yeah, you don't even want to think about what could go wrong if that stuff wasn't maintained properly. Today, we're looking at a key part of that maintenance, the tech that keeps trains running safely.
So for this deep dive, we're zeroing in on AZ Spa,
An Italian company based in Teen.
and they specialize in grinding machines. Specifically, their RU series, which is designed just for railway axles. Pretty cool, right?
It is. We're basically getting a behind-the-scenes look at the engineering that ensures smooth and safe train travel.
I know our listeners are going to love this. So we're going to figure out what makes AZ Spa's RU series machines stand out from the crowd. Like, what are their killer features and innovations, and how do they actually impact railway safety and efficiency?
We've got two main sources for this. A LinkedIn post from AZ Grinding Machines showing off their latest machine and a technical brochure that goes deep into the RU series.
Perfect. Let's start with that LinkedIn post. It's pretty recent, right?
Yeah, just 23 hours ago.
Mm.
They're announcing a brand new state-of-the-art grinding machine for railway axles.
Nice.
And they highlight some pretty interesting features right off the bat, like a dual wheelhead carriage, high-precision linear motors, and in-process gauges.
Okay, so break it down for me and the listeners. What does all that mean in plain English?
So the dual wheelhead carriage basically means double the efficiency. Two tools working at the same time on different parts of the axle.
I see, getting twice as much done in the same amount of time.
Exactly. It cuts down the reconditioning time drastically.
Which is essential for keeping trains on schedule.
Absolutely. Less downtime for maintenance equals more trains running on time.
And what about the high-precision linear motors? They sound impressive, but what makes them so special for railway axles?
Well, with something as critical as a railway axle, any little imperfection can have huge consequences. It could affect safety and the lifespan of the axle itself.
I can only imagine.
Linear motors are all about super accurate movement control. Unlike traditional motors with all their gears and belts, linear motors provide direct and precise motion.
Ah, so it's all about the precision.
Yep, that means a higher quality surface finish and tighter tolerances. We're talking accuracy down to the micrometer.
A micrometer, wow, that's tiny.
It is about the width of a human hair.
Then we've got those in-process gauges. Does that mean they're measuring things while the machine is actually working?
You got it. It's a game changer because it shifts the process from grind, measure, and hope for the best to constant monitoring and adjustment.
That's amazing.
These gauges allow for real-time measurement during the grinding process. If anything's off, the machine can adjust immediately.
So it's constantly checking its own work.
Exactly. Less room for error, less waste, and it ensures every single axle meets the exact standards.
It's like having a tiny inspector on board at all times.
Pretty much.
The post also mentioned an automation-ready enclosure. I guess that makes things easier, right?
Oh yeah. Loading, unloading, even transporting the whole machine becomes simpler with this enclosure. And it's designed to work seamlessly with robotic systems, which is huge in modern manufacturing.
Makes sense. Everything's going more and more automated these days.
Absolutely. Automation is key for efficiency and cutting down costs in today's industry. It's all part of Industry 4.0, where everything's connected and data-driven.
It's pretty cool to see these advancements being implemented, to keep everything running smoothly. And for anyone who's curious to see this thing in action, AZ is inviting people to visit their facility in Thien. That's a pretty strong statement.
They're confident in their tech, that's for sure. It allows potential customers to see it up close, understand how it works, and we can't forget those hashtags they used in the post. They're clearly targeting a specific audience, those working in the railway industry.
Right, makes sense. Okay, that linking post gave us a good overview, but let's dive deeper into the RU series brochure now. It's got that Made in Italy stamp right on the front.
That's not just a label. It means something in the machine tool world. Italy has this long history of amazing design, precision engineering, and high-quality manufacturing. It's like a guarantee of quality.
The brochure says the RU series is all about plunge grinding of railway axles. Can you explain what that means? Like, why is it the best method for axles?
Imagine a sculptor carving wood. They press their chisel straight down to create a specific shape. That's similar to plunge grinding. The grinding wheel doesn't move along the axle. It goes straight in, radially.
To remove material and get the perfect diameter.
Exactly. And with railway axles, you have these specific sections that need precise reductions in diameter. Plunge grinding, especially with multiple wheels, as we saw with that dual wheel head, is just the most efficient and accurate way to shape those critical areas.
And speaking of efficiency, the brochure highlights the thick grinding wheel, a whopping 310 millimeters. That's a pretty serious piece of equipment.
It is. A thicker wheel can cover more surface area in a shorter time, which means faster cycle times, and as we know, speed is everything in railway maintenance.
The faster you can get an axle reconditioned, the faster the train can get back on track.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of this machine. The brochure talks about the wheelhead carriages moving on linear guides with roller recirculating slides along the X and Z axes, and it's all powered by those high-precision linear motors we talked about.
It's all connected. The linear guides and roller slides make sure the wheel heads move smoothly with minimal friction. That keeps the grinding pressure consistent for a high-quality finish.
So it's not just about power, it's about finesse too.
Precisely. And of course, those linear motors provide the incredibly accurate positioning required for these components.
And to guarantee that precision, there are linear encoders. What do they do?
They're like super accurate rulers that constantly tell the system where the wheel head is. It's a closed-loop control system.
So it's always double-checking its position.
Yes. The CNC, the computer numerical control system, always knows exactly where the wheel head is, down to the micron level. And if anything needs adjusting, it can make that adjustment right away.
It's a self-correcting system.
In real time, no less. And that's essential for maintaining those tight tolerances required for railway axles.
So how about the wheelhead spindle itself? It's belt-driven and supported by high-precision bearings, right?
Right, again, belt drives are a reliable way to get power to the grinding wheel. And the bearings are vital for smooth, vibration-free rotation of the spindle.
Because any vibration could mess up the surface of the axle.
Exactly. Minimizing those vibrations is crucial for a high-quality finish.
They also have a fully automatic balancing system and a vibration control system. They seem really focused on eliminating even the slightest chance of inaccuracy.
They are. Vibrations are the enemy of precision. The balancing system keeps the grinding wheel perfectly balanced as it spins, even as it wears down. And the vibration control system actively dampens any unwanted movements during the grinding process.
It's all about that perfect finish. So tell me about the dual fixed diamond station for grinding wheel dressing. What is dressing in this context?
Well, after a while, grinding wheels can get clogged up or lose their shape. Dressing is like sharpening a knife. It uses diamonds to clean and reshape the wheel, bringing it back to its optimal profile. Having a dual station means they can do this quickly, so the machine spends less time in maintenance mode.
Makes sense. So now let's talk about the foundation of this machine, the machine bed. It's a single piece of thermally stabilized cast iron. That sounds ridiculously strong.
Cast iron is fantastic at absorbing vibrations, which is super important in a grinding machine. And making the bed a single piece makes it incredibly rigid and stable. The thermal stabilization prevents warping due to temperature changes, ensuring that the machine stays accurate over time.
It's like building the machine on solid rock.
Pretty much. And the design of the bed was further optimized using finite element analysis.
Okay, that sounds like some serious engineering.
It is. They use computer simulations to test the bed under different stresses and loads so they can identify any weak points and optimize the design for maximum stability and accuracy.
It's amazing how much thought goes into these machines.
It is. And this bed integrates the guides for the wheelhead carriage and the housings for the motion and position control systems. Everything's in one place.
A unified, integrated design.
Exactly. That eliminates potential points of failure and improves overall precision.
Now for the star of the show, the railway axle itself. The brochure mentions fantina and contrapunta. What are those?
Those are the Italian terms for headstock and tailstock. The headstock grips and rotates the axle, and the tailstock supports the other end. The headstock on the RU series has a 3-pin drive system for a super secure grip and hydraulic extraction for quick loading and unloading.
So they've really streamlined that process.
They have, and both the headstock and tailstock can be moved along the table, either manually or automatically, using an air cushion to reduce friction.
Smart. That's going to make setup a lot easier.
Absolutely. It means a machine can handle different axle lengths and configurations with ease. The air cushion helps move those potentially heavy components around effortlessly.
No backaches for the operators.
Exactly. And the ASA and Morse taper centering capabilities ensure that various types of workpieces can be mounted accurately.
Well, lots of flexibility there.
Indeed. Now, the tailstock also has this taper recovery system and continuous force control between centers, all managed by the CNC.
That sounds super advanced.
It is. The taper recovery system compensates for any imperfections in the axle itself, ensuring a more accurate grind. And the continuous force control maintains just the right clamping pressure on the axle throughout the whole process. That's crucial for stability and accuracy, especially when you're removing a lot of material.
It's all about that consistency. They also mention a workpiece support system for loading and unloading. It seems like a small detail, but probably really important.
It is safety first and make sure the axle is always supported to prevent accidents.
So let's move on to the brains of the operation, the control and measurement systems. It's all controlled by a CNC system with customizable user interfaces and cycles, right?
Right. A customizable interface makes it easier for the operator to use, and programmable cycles automate complex grinding sequences, depending on the type of axle and the job requirements.
It's like tailoring the process to each specific axle.
Exactly. Then there's this modular multifunction system
Yeah.
for grinding process control. It's the central hub for managing everything.
Tell me more about this system. It sounds impressive.
Well, it integrates a whole bunch of functions, like managing the contact between the grinding wheel and the workpiece, handling the dressing process, preventing crashes, controlling the automatic balancing of the wheel, and even positioning both the workpiece and the wheel using a touch probe.
So it's constantly monitoring and adjusting to optimize the entire grinding process.
Precisely. And having all these control functions in one modular system just makes everything easier to manage and gives operators a complete overview of the whole process.
Sounds like a dream for any operator.
It is. And to ensure the finished axle is perfect, they've got two diametrical in-process control devices with a continuous two-point measuring system, all mounted on movable carriages.
I'm guessing those are for super precise quality control.
You guessed right. While the grinding is going on, these devices measure the diameter of the axle at two different points. And that data is sent straight back to the CNC, which can adjust the process on the fly to make sure those final dimensions are spot on.
It's all about precision. So to wrap things up, let's touch on installation and support. The machine cabin is designed for robot loading, which makes sense given their focus on automation.
Robot integration is crucial for efficiency and safety in modern manufacturing. And AZ thought of that.
The machine can also be shipped in standard 40-foot open-top containers, which is great for logistics.
It simplifies shipping worldwide, which is important for a company like AZ that sells these machines globally.
And for support, they offer remote assistance, annual maintenance packages, and even a smart service that uses smart glasses.
It's really cutting-edge support. Remote assistance helps with troubleshooting, reducing downtime. Preventative maintenance keeps the machine running smoothly for years to come. And the smart service, with those glasses, provides real-time guidance to technicians on site.
It's like having a remote expert looking over your shoulder.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. They offer a full range of engineering services. Overhauls, retrofitting, software programming, process optimization, even grinding wheel repair.
They've got you covered for the entire life of the machine.
That's right. They're committed to supporting their customers every step of the way. And to top it off, they offer training courses for maintenance, programming, and CNC simulation. It's a smart investment.
It ensures their customers can actually use and maintain these complex machines properly.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's safe to say that AZ Spa's RU series cylindrical grinding machines are a huge leap forward in the technology for grinding railway axles. The dual wheel heads, high-precision linear motors, sophisticated control systems, and that focus on automation and customer support. It's all incredibly impressive.
And that Made in Italy label really signifies a commitment to quality and innovation. It speaks to the expertise and tradition of Italian engineering in this field.
It really makes you appreciate the level of precision and technology required to keep our trains running smoothly and safely.
We often take it for granted, but there's a whole world of complex engineering behind the scenes, ensuring those wheels keep turning.
Absolutely. So if you want to learn more about Izzy Spa and their RU series grinding machines, check out their website at www.azpapa.at. That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.